Detroit Lions fans, Detroit Den 313 back with another one. Stephen Will here, ready to talk that Detroit Lions football. But you guys already know, before we do, if you're new here, welcome. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our new content. If you've been here and you haven't hit that button, shame on you. And if you want to win some free stuff, make sure you look at our members tiers. We got 3 members tiers. Aiden Hudson helmet signed right there. We got other signed memorabilia. We got game tickets that are be coming down the road. We got gift cards. We got all types of stuff. So that out of the way, Steve, today, what are we talking about?
Linebackers, linebackers. Well, more
Yeah,
linebackers. I don't know where you want to start. This was kind of your idea, so I know you set the table, but I'll let you prepare the food in this one as well. Well, I don't know what we're eating on exactly.
for sure. So for me today, Steve, today it's not just about linebackers. Today, although I do feel like there's some a linebacker situation going on in Detroit, and I think we're both going to give our 2 cents on what we think it is and what we think could potentially be some options that could be coming down the road. But saying that, I'll go ahead and say I believe it was PFF or CBS. I can't remember which one, but they put out linebacker grades for each team, and the Detroit Lions were up there close to the top. Right, I think we're number 2 or number 3. It doesn't matter to me, but that's just to set the table. Right, we're up towards the top tier. Alex Anzolone retweeted that image with just a hmm, hmm.
I'll try to find
And
it as you're talking.
yeah, a lot of people are taking that in a bunch of different directions. And I'm not going to go down all of those roads, but I will say this. I do believe that he's doing all of these little subliminal messages for a reason. And we are in the month, Steve, the month of Detroit Lion football being back. Right? This month, the Detroit Lions are going to play a football game. Right?
Here it is.
So,
PFF.
yep, yep. So, that said, we still have not seen Alex Anzalone being signed. I think that there's something to be said about that. Now, do I think we should be hitting the panic button? Do I think it's the hugest deal in the world? I don't. Do I still hope that he's signed? I do. But having an off season for us as well, getting to be able to look at all different types of players. Shoot, we're talking about players, the other day that we're not even sure if they're going to make the team. So I mean, we're digging into all of these players, free agents, undrafted free agents. Like we're digging deep. And as we've done that, during that deep dive, I've come across a guy that I fell in love with. And I think the Detroit Lions are already in love with them. So I know I may be in the minority in this, but I'm willing to hang my hat on what I see and what I feel all of the time. So if you guys are going to hammer me, please do. But Steve, I fell in love with Trevor Nowaske. 6'3", right? Homegrown guy, almost 240 pounds, right? 26 years old, out of Saginaw Valley State University, from Canton, Michigan. This young man, as I look at this linebacker room, and Steve, I'm going to pose a question right out of the gate. I look at that linebacker room. I look at what Trevor Nowaske was doing last year. He was playing that Sam linebacker role. He was playing that on-ball linebacker role, a role that Derek Barnes was kind of coming into his own. Is there a potential that the reason why Alex Anzalone is having a hard time getting that contract because maybe Trevor Nowaske found himself a home in Detroit, found himself maybe a starting role in Detroit, and maybe they're bumping Derek Barnes to Will, and Jack Campbell's going to play the Mike, and maybe we're looking at a different chapter for the Detroit Lions. Steve, how do you feel about it? What are your thoughts? Talk to me.
Well, I get more excited about a hard-boiled egg if I'm being honest with you. Like that's just where I am. All right, but I want you to sell me because when you said starting role, are you nuts, Will? You're going to start him. You're going to start Trevor Nowaske over who? Alex Anzolone, Jack Campbell, and Derek Barnes?
No, so last year, Trevor Nowaske stepped into that Sam linebacker role on accident. So really it would be kind of taking that role over from Derek Barnes and then potentially maybe Derek Barnes moving to Will, if we're in a situation to where Alex Anzolone is deciding to hold out and not play because he wants to get his contract. So would that be something that you would even be willing to entertain, or are you just pay Alex Anzalone at all costs, whatever the price is? It cannot be Trevor Nowaske out there on the field.
I'm not even buying into the Alex Anzalone contract dispute. I told you, I'm not going to worry until training camp shows up in day one. If Alex Anzalone's not there, then we got a bigger situation than we've all realized. But until that day, because he missed a voluntary mini camp and all that stuff while he's spending time in Florida with his newborn, I can't remember if he had a boy or girl, but I know he just had a baby. While he's spending time in Florida and he's skipping some stuff, that's perfectly fine. He's a veteran; he deserves his time off. So I can't just go around giving away his job to anyone until I see something that creates a little bit more drama just than people speculating. Like I don't even think it was a cryptic tweet that he put out, but I can understand the optics that a lot of people are projecting. I just personally am not buying into any type of drama with the Detroit Lions. I think when training camp opens up day one, Alex Anzalone is going to be there. So for me to pretend that he's not and to just give away his job, can't do it. I think Alex Anzalone is a vital piece to this defense. I think he's the defensive captain. I think he is very underappreciated and undervalued. I think he's a fan favorite on top of that. And does he have 10 good years of football left on him? Probably not. Are we going to try to squeeze every last drop of football out of him? I believe so. So Trevor Nowaske, I don't know. I think the only player you could really talk about having a conversation would be, does he steal Derek Barnes' job permanently? I think that's the only conversation I could end up having, Will. So do you think he could do that?
Honestly, I just don't think that would make sense when you just sign Derek Barnes to a 3-year deal. So why do you sign him to a 3-year deal and then let some guy come in and take his job? Like, if that's because how they feel about Trevor Nowaske is documented and on the docket already. Like, they were trying to keep him in Detroit. They were playing on the roster, off the roster game. Arizona Cardinals came in and swooped him, right? And then once the Arizona Cardinals did the same thing, they ended up cutting him once they got done with whatever situation they had going on. And the Detroit Lions hurried up and swooped in and claimed him to get him back. Coach Shep, Coach Campbell, that defense in general has talked about how they really like Trevor Nowaske. Dallas Cowboys games last year, he kind of stepped onto the scene into this new Sam linebacker role. It was a story that I caught on a podcast where he was talking about how the coach came to him and said, he didn't say which coach, he just said one of the coaches came to him and said, hey, listen, just a heads up, you're the 7th defensive end going into this game due to injury. So I just want to give you a heads up and prepare you for it. And he was like, because all he had to play the linebacker, he wasn't playing DN at Saginaw Valley, wasn't playing it to my knowledge in high school, wasn't just a defensive end, he was a linebacker. So he didn't have defensive end history. Now he's on the depth chart as the 7th defensive end due to all the injuries that Detroit had. And he said to himself, okay, whatever. I know I'm not going on the field at the end. Maybe you can tell me all you want or whatever.
Joke's on you.
Only to end up on the field. And Steve, I don't know if you're aware of this, but his very first play, and we'll see it in a little bit, but his very first play at the end was a sack of Dak Prescott. So I say that to say this. I don't think that it's up for debate as far as him and Alex Anzolone. They're not the same player. Trevor Nowaske has found a niche in this Sam linebacker role. I think that Derek Barnes has a little bit more versatility, and I think that he could potentially he was having a good season last year before he got hurt. Could he potentially be an asset at the will linebacker position and Jack Campbell moving over to that Mike position? Do we have a solid linebacking core like that? So I guess the true question is, can Derek Barnes replace Alex Anzolone? Is really the question that's really to be seen throughout camp and throughout moving forward. But I mentioned Trevor Nowaske because I think that's what makes this thing go. Because we've been searching, doing a deep dive, looking for the Sam linebacker position. Like James
Houston, man. He was the answer, the problem, and the answer and the problem, Will.
Yeah, right. So we've been searching high, we've been searching low. We haven't been able to find anybody. And then Trevor Nowaske falls into a little bit of success. So Steve, as I started doing some digging on Trevor Nowaske, man, I started watching film, and I just started falling in love, man. I'll put some film in here and I'll let people kind of see what I've been seeing. Always the first one for whatever reason. It doesn't let me mark him, but you'll see him. He's right on that edge. He takes on the tight end and just comes up and makes the play. But there he is right here. Let's see what he does. Holding that line of scrimmage, stretching out the play, going to make a tackle. It gets better, though. It gets better. Look at this. Now, look at that drop. This is a guy who can play on-ball linebacker. He can drop, but then he can come up and make tackles on the open field, Steve. Like, this is a dude. He's not just some undrafted free agent out of a D2 school. There he is going to get a sack on a delayed blitz. Like, this guy was out there making plays. He had 2 interceptions, I believe, Steve. Like, this, he was out there doing his thing. Now, this is a play, I believe. This was his first play at defensive end. Turns out to be a sack on Dak Prescott, man. Maybe some stars are aligning. I don't know. I don't know. Athleticism here. I believe this is a stunt game. Jumping in, putting that pressure, getting the air throw out of the QB, CJ Stroud, who we know, Steve, you love.
Not anymore. I don't love him anymore.
Here's another one. I love this. So when you got guys like Jaden Daniels on those boots, those rollouts, he's athletic enough. Now we got AR-15 is another guy, super athletic guy, trying to roll out, trying to outrun him. Can't do it. He's athletic, man. I feel like Trevor Nowaske is one of those players who's underrated. He's floating under the radar. Nice little move, crushing the pocket, forcing another throw. Same thing. Brock Purdy. He's only a couple more, but Brock Purdy, same thing. Purdy tries to take off. He matches his athleticism, runs him down, forces an air throw. With these athletic quarterbacks trying to run around and do their thing, closing the gap on Brock Purdy again, forcing an air throw. We need guys like this that can make plays, that are athletic and fast enough and versatile enough to play in the new NFL, forcing an interception, last one. So Trevor Nowaske, as we just looked at those clips, I see him dropping as a linebacker. I see him rushing the passer. I see him playing stunt games. I see him being stout in the run game. Steve, this is a dude who at the Saginaw Valley Combine, just 6'3", 237 pounds, runs a 4.5, bench presses 225 25 times, vertical jump of 36 inches, broad jump, I think 10.2 here, shuttle 4.2, 3 cone 6.7. Steve, these are, if he would have went to the combine, these are top 5 and top 10 linebacker numbers. Like a lot of these things, he's number 2 in the combine rankings, right? This dude is a athletic freak who's floating under the radar, who I think has found himself a spot in this Sam linebacker role and is going to help the Detroit Lions in their scheme tremendously going into this season. There's nothing that he can't do in that Sam linebacker role. He's going to be able to run down them athletic quarterbacks. He's going to be able to be stout in the run game. He's going to be able to offer a little bit stunts and games and stuff if we want to use him in the stunts and games. I'm excited for this guy, and I think it changes the scope of the ability of what we can do for as far as versatility defensively. Are you still just not interested in Trevor Nowaske?
William, can I be completely honest with you? Like,
please do.
Full transparency here. I'm sold. You've sold me. All right. I don't know if you need to like go into like a job in like sales and try to sell cars, because I think I'd be walking away with a Lamborghini. Like if I walked into the store with $20 in my pocket, I think I'm leaving in a Lambo. I think that's what you just did. I think you did sell me. I'm going to be even more honest. When I texted you earlier today at work, I was not in a good mental place. I'm getting my butt kicked in the new job, just absolutely getting handed to me, a hand over fist. I texted you. I said, "What do you want to talk tonight?" And you said linebackers, more specifically Trevor Nowaske. And my response to you was real. And I'll tell you, I wish I had screenshotted it and I would put it in the chat. I said to you, I would rather talk about the guys and the kids outside that beat on the buckets as drums than talk Trevor Nowaske. But as you've shown me clips, you've shown me some highlights, you've shown me some film. I don't know how to get him on the field, Will, because I'm still standing on, I don't know whose job he's taken, but I'll be damned if he doesn't have an argument to make. I'll be damned if he can't go to Coach Campbell's office and be like, "Hey man, like, what do you need me to do? Like, I've done it all. Like, you want me to blitz? You want me to cover? You want me to tackle? You want me to do special teams? Like, you want me to stay healthy? Like, you tell me what you want me to do, Coach. I'm going to go out there and do it. You want me to run through a wall for you? Find me some 2x4s and stack them up high, and I'll run through it." But I'm a little sold, Will. And to be honest, I was a little burnt out because I know like 2 weeks ago, I think we did a whole week full of linebacker talk. So here's my
Mhm.
question to you. We've talked
Yes.
so many linebackers. Can't keep them all. Can't keep them all. Well, you can love them all, but you can't keep them all. So who, as a linebacker, are you cutting? Because I know you love Grant Stewart, Ezekiel
Yep.
Turner, Zach Cunningham, we've talked about. Now Trevor Nowaske. We got Malcolm Rodriguez coming back, Alex Anzolone. Like, not all of them can stay, Will. So who's the odd man out here?
Steve, when we had that show and we didn't talk about Trevor Nowaske, and just to be honest, I think last year I seen Trevor Nowaske being stout at the line of scrimmage, and I was just like, man, I kind of like him, but I didn't do a deep dive yet. So he wasn't even really in the conversation, but I wasn't looking at him as a cut candidate at that time just because of the Sam linebacker situation. I knew that he offered some Sam linebacker, and we didn't. You got to be too deep at these positions. But now, Steve, or that day, I will say, I said this is going to be easy for me so far. I still feel like that. Ezekiel Turner, I know that Coach Glenn liked him. Like, buddy, I'm sorry, I just don't see it. I'm looking at Grant Stewart, because of his special teams versatility and us not having Malcolm Rodriguez. I think we'll see Grant Stewart. He's going to make this team. He's going to do some. He's going to get some opportunities. I think Trevor Nowaske is a no brainer. Obviously, Alex Anzolone, um, Jack Campbell, Derek Barnes. The rest of this group, and no offense to Zach Cunningham, but he's kind of got to that back nine of his career. I like Zach Cunningham, but he's going to be fighting to find a way to make sure he makes this team from a special team standpoint. Everybody else, I'm looking to do things because as I watch Detroit Lions film, I see a lot of Malcolm Rodriguez. He wasn't a guy that was just playing special teams. He was on the field defensively. I don't know if it was 20% of the snaps or what exactly his share of the snaps were, but he got some defensive snaps. I'm expecting Grant Stewart to get those snaps now that Malcolm Rodriguez is hurt. Right? So for me, what the deep dive on Trevor Nowaske did for me is if we run into a situation to where Alex Anzalone holds out, then I'm not in a panic to go try to sign somebody because I like Trevor Nowaske as Sam linebacker. And I'm okay with Derek Barnes, Jack Campbell, and then if it's Zach Cunningham or Grant Stewart as the backups, I feel good going into the season. I still feel like we got a freaking good defense. Now before people are hammering me, and I'm sure people that already have commented some stuff about me not liking Alex Anzalone or something like that. I love Alex Anzalone. There is nothing like watching Alex Anzalone run a play down, cover a tight end or a slot receiver man to man, force out a fumble, sling a guy on the ground, and get up, and those locks are flowing, and he's going crazy. I absolutely love it. But I'm also a realist. We got a lot of people that we got to pay. And Alex Anzalone is putting out some subliminal messages, in my opinion, just letting the world know that he believes that he's a top 5 linebacker and he should be compensated accordingly. I don't know how you compensate Alex Anzalone accordingly and Brian Branch and Aiden Hutchinson. And we already know Sam Laporta, the list goes on. All of these young weapons, man. How do you compensate them? And you say it all the time, Stephen. I agree with you. We ain't gonna be able to pay everybody. It's just the bottom line. So is it gonna be comparable to have Derek Barnes playing that will position, who took a heck of a step forward last season? Will it be? If so, then maybe we have a little bit of extra money to play around with when it's time to pay for people. Again, absolutely love Alex Anzalone. I hope that it gets figured out and he's a Detroit Lion. I would rather have the linebacker core be the similar to our secondary to where we just got starting caliber guys that are playing the backups. But I'm seeing a path, Steve, that our linebacking core still could be solid if he holds up. Are you in the same boat? Or are you like, they better sign him or we're effed?
Mm, I want him signed.
Me too.
I'll just say I want Alex Anzalone to be signed. And to be honest, I'm still on the boat. Like I don't know that this is even over a contract. Like nothing has shown me that he, other than missing a voluntary workout or a couple voluntary workouts, nothing has shown or hinted at me that he's not happy in Detroit. I think the writing is just He has a newborn kid. He's from Florida. He's living in Florida. He's working out in Florida. He's working out in Detroit Lions gear. That's on tape as well. Like he's wearing full Detroit Lions shorts, t-shirts, all that shit while he's working out and posting his stuff on Instagram and Twitter. So I don't think he'd be doing that if he wasn't happy with the current situation. So I really just think that this is a family thing for him. He's enjoying his off time. I think when training camp opens up, he's here. I don't think he gets a new contract. I think it's the same one. Because I don't know that I can give Alex Anzolone top 5 linebacker money with all the guys we got coming up, and top 5 linebackers probably going to mean he's going to want 3 or 4 more years. I don't know if I want to go down that road with where he's at. You know, I don't know that he's on the front 9 of his career. I don't know if he's on the back. Maybe he's teeing off on number 9. I don't know, but it's getting kind of late in the game for Alex. So I think he's a crucial piece. Got to have him. In my opinion, could we be okay without him? Yes, I don't even think the linebacking core is the strength of the defense, so I think we're going to be okay. We could find some guys, but maybe we'll save that for another episode. But I want Alex Anzolone, but it's not a make or break deal if he's not back. But I'm a big fan. I'm going to go to bat for him. I think this is just time off for him.
Yeah, I gotta disagree. It's not a are you nuts disagree, but the only reason why I say that, and I mean by disagree, I mean I do think that there's something going on with him because he's posting out, hey, no other linebacker does what I do. He's retweeting this type of stuff. He's making comments on other linebackers who are getting paid, Zach Vaughn and these guys or whatever. So just these little tweets here and there are the reasons why. Because if you're just with your family, to me, you're not sending these tweets. I'm just kicking it with my family. I'm staying back in the cut behind the scenes, minding my own business, doing my own dang thing. I'm not putting out subliminal tweets because I've never known him to be one to kind of play with the fans emotionally like that. Maybe I just haven't been hypersensitive to it because it hasn't been the last year of his contract, but I haven't known him to do stuff like this. So these subliminal tweets are really what's kind of putting it on notice for me, but no problem with them. I believe in players trying to go get their just due. They're trying to feed their families. I got no problem with what Alex Anzolone is doing. I hope that we figure out a way to get him a contract that he feels comfortable with and we get him back in Detroit. But it just Trevor Nowaske, Derek Barnes taking a step last season, and Jack Campbell, what I expect him to be this season, it's just bringing me a little bit more comfort than I would otherwise. Because before I did this deep dive on Trevor Nowaske, all I could think about is it's going to be a swap out of Grant and Alex Anzolone because Malcolm Rodriguez is hurt. And I haven't seen enough Grant Stewart to have any type of comfort level with that. It would have been just a complete curveball. So the Trevor Nowaske situation, maybe potentially moving Derek Barnes to the will if there's a holdout situation, just brought me a little bit of a warm and fuzzy. But I'm with you, Steve. At the end of the day, I'm really hoping that we get to see the roof go off of Ford Field when Alex Anzolone is getting announced, coming out with that defense as it always does.
I think it'll blow off the roof way before that one out when Aiden Hutchinson comes out. But
yeah,
my last thing, I just don't think that the Detroit Lions defense is elite enough to have a player like Alex Anzolone not play football for him. Like, I don't think we're an elite defense. I think we could be really, 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 really good. I don't want to call it elite. Elite, our offense, we have an elite offense. Like, no question marks there. Defensively, got some questions. Got some questions about some positions, about some players, some durability, new defensive coordinator. There's some questions, and I know we have a new offensive coordinator too, but just got some questions. I don't think it's elite. I'd love to give it that status, but I don't think they've done anything that would say – I'd be comfortable saying, oh, man, the Detroit Lions have an elite top 3 defense. Like, I don't think we're in that boat yet. I'd love to get there. I've been pounding the table about that for 2-3 seasons now, just not there. So I can't just let Alex Anzolone walk out the door when he is a top 5 linebacker. So if he wants that money, that's great. But I just don't know. With where he is in his career, I'm not sure I'm 100% comfortable with that. So something's got to give. But that's all I got for tonight. Will, you got anything else?
No, man, I'm just hoping that it gets figured out because I don't know that he plays the last year of his contract without getting an extension. Because at the end of the day, it's a business both ways these days. It used to be back in the day, it was just a business for the businessmen, the owners, and the people on the backside. Now, these players are starting to understand what they're getting themselves into. You go into that last year of your contract, you get hurt, you're an older guy. Now, the money that you could have got is way different. So, Alex, sounds like me and Steve are both cheering for you to be a Detroit Lion. I hope everything works out, but Trevor Nowaske. Boy, am I excited to see, because he was 240 pounds last season, running around like an athletic freak. Don't let him have been hanging out with Jack Campbell. Don't let some story let us find out he gained another 10 pounds and he's bigger, stronger, and faster this season, because Steve, I liked what I saw last season. So Trevor Nowaske, I cannot wait to see you at camp.
Alex, I'm sorry if you're watching this, that Will's just handing out your job with just absolutely no reason. Stick around, hit that like button. We'll be back later with another show.
Peace.